Up. We got a lot of football players talking yesterday, so we'll do a feature called Talk to Me. Let's start with Lamar Jackson, who's participating in OTAs with the Ravens under the new head coach Jesse Minter. He has 2 years, Lamar Jackson does, remaining on his current contract. Both sides are looking to get a deal done. So, Lamar, talk to me. Do you envision yourself long-term in Baltimore?
Absolutely. I love the Ravens. I love this organization. I love the city. Just the team that drafted me, got a lot of love for me. And I believe, I got a lot of love for the city and this team as well. So, like I told you, the reconstruction is done. Cool with that, but I love Baltimore. Everybody should know that by now.
Okay, it certainly feels like they may have been. Why are you giving me that look?
It's like let's get the deal done.
Okay.
Baltimore wants him. He wants Baltimore. It seems like one of those things where it's going to be tough, but eventually it'll get done.
There may have been like a little bit of a rocky thing there with him and John Harbaugh, and that might have been the reason for some of the ebbs and flows. But are you confident this team, let's put the contract aside.
Yeah.
Whatever they work out with that's between them. He's going to get paid a lot of money, and Lord knows he deserves it. Mm-hmm. The question is that team going to bounce back from what was a very disappointing year?
Absolutely. I think they are going to bounce back. I think we need to see the version of Lamar that we saw in years past, where he's running by everyone and he looks healthy out there on the field. The question mark I have is when you move on from a guy like John Harbaugh with the success he's had with Lamar Jackson, not being able to get to the Super Bowl, the expectation is Jesse Minter is coming in to do that. Will Bond, a few days I've been with you, what I've learned is you cannot just disregard history. And for rookie head coaches, it's only happened 5 times that they've made the Super Bowl in their first year. The last one was Jim Caldwell in 2009.
Right.
So can Jesse Minter hit the ground running and get this team ready to go to the point where they're getting to the Super Bowl, something that Harbaugh wasn't able to do?
And he can only do it if Lamar Jackson's at his best. And here's the question I have. Lamar Jackson was such a has-been, has been all along, such a wondrous athlete.
Yeah.
Maybe singular.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of people who physically could do what Lamar Jackson could do, we're talking a tiny number of people.
You count on the fingers of your hand, yeah.
But last year, he wasn't that dude. And I want to think, because I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, I just obsessed watching him since he was in Louisville in college. Lamar Jackson couldn't get away from dudes with 90s on their jerseys and 50s on their jerseys. And I'm thinking, okay, it's just because he's hurt, right? When he came back even later, he still couldn't do it. Now, J-Mac, you called some of their games. Yeah. I don't want to be overstating this because I want him to be Lamar Jackson again. I just don't know.
Called a game in Baltimore. They were playing against the New York Jets. And I remember sitting in the booth saying to Andrew Catalon, he could have ran right there. Me and Charles Davis talking about it in the break where he just got caught. Was that Michael Clemens that caught him on that one? So there were moments where you just didn't see that same Lamar Jackson.
Harry, get in here.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was predicated off of Lamar Jackson not being healthy. Listen, he's one of the finest athletes that we ever seen on the football field at the quarterback position. When it comes to the Baltimore Ravens for 2026, I do believe they're going to be the team that represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. Ooh. And part of that, or a lot of that, is because of Lamar Jackson and how he has grown and progressed as a passer in the pocket and not just relied on his athletic ability. But also the other half of that, I believe in Jesse Minter that much as a coach. Hey, I know this is going to be his first time at the head coaching position, but you got to look at the stops that he's had throughout his career. Guys, he was on that staff in 2019 when they had the #1 seed. He won a national championship under Jim Harbaugh as defensive coordinator at Michigan. And then he goes to the Los Angeles Chargers, and he has that defense playing at a tip-top level. And what I like about Jesse Minter the most, he has the ability to develop talent. Not a lot of coaches have that ability. I know we have these guys that are in place to be coaches and with the wishes of developing talent, but I've seen Jesse Minter develop that talent. And I think that defense in Baltimore is going to be like that defense that we've seen throughout their history for the most part. They're going to be hard-nosed. They're going to play. He's going to be able to put guys in positions to have success. And we also have to remember, he is a disciple of Harbaugh, not just John, but also Jim, both of them. The last disciple that we've seen from John Harbaugh, well, that guy's name is Mike McDonald. He just won a Super Bowl in Seattle.
A reasonably good point. Harry calling his shot. He's got the Ravens back in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, next stop is just like 30 miles from Baltimore, and that's in our nation's capital. Jaden Daniels only played 7 games last year because of a variety of injuries. Only 4 of those were played in full. The team was 5-12 after being in the NFC Championship game the year before. So, Jaden, talk to me about how you felt at the end of last season.
It left a bitter taste in my mouth. I made it more kind of like a miserable feeling not be able to go out there and do what I got to do on a daily basis without having setbacks.
Do you feel like you have anything to prove this year?
I mean, I don't think in this profession, if you got something to prove, if you don't feel like you don't got something to prove, then you shouldn't be doing it. So that should answer your question, yeah.
I want to start this one with Wilbon, because you still are there in D.C. so much of the time. Pardon me, you know that team as well as it can be known. Do you think he has something to prove this year?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, you're coming off that unbelievable rookie season in which you get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's irony. This is a little sidecar. He's playing in the town that is the hometown of Caleb Williams. And that comparison is always going to be there. And the teams have played each other the first 2 seasons of those guys' careers, and they were involved in insane games. The Hail Mary game, and then the Commanders fumble that leads to one of the, crazy Caleb comebacks. So, yeah, a lot to prove. I was glad to hear him answer the question that way. In Washington, going into this, people were just tremendously thrilled to see him at quarterback, but also watching games like this because they remember what happened to Robert Griffin.
Right.
And you were talking about somebody who was in harm's way all of a sudden. People forget how great Robert Griffin was early in his career.
He was the rookie of the year.
His rookie of the year.
Yes.
And so you're looking at, and then Jane Daniels comes along. He has a similar situation, and it's just you have to wait and see how healthy is he going to be. How healthy can he be? Is that sustainable with the way he wants to play? People talk about Jackson Dart. Some similarities. Not that he's reckless, because Jaden's not that. But in terms of being in harm's way, how is that going to play, and do you change his style of play?
And they have a new offensive coordinator in David Blau. And how does that impact how Jaden Daniels goes out there and performs? What does he learn from sitting on the sideline watching other quarterbacks and, like he said, a bad taste in his mouth where you can't go out there and help your guys? That's what really starts to change the way you play. But at the same time, what makes him so dangerous, when we watched him his rookie year, and we were saying he's potentially a top 5 quarterback, he still has to use that athletic ability to be able to scramble and make plays. It is a huge year for him because your rookie year, you come on the scene and no one knows what to expect from you. Well, now once we get a full 17, 18, 19 games of you, defensive coordinators spend an entire offseason dissecting it. So now for Jaden Daniels, how are you going to respond to that? What's going to be the next level of your game now with a new offensive coordinator to get your weapons involved and to still be the dangerous and unbelievable player he showed himself to be?
Harry.
Yeah, Greeny, I would also add, I think there's a reason why we don't see Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator in Washington anymore. And I think a lot of that has to do with the play style of Jaden Daniels and the positions that he put him in that allow him to get hurt frequently in his second season. The best thing that can help out a young quarterback and also save that guy from taking a lot of hits is having a better defense. And I love a lot of the moves that the Washington Commanders made this offseason and also throughout the draft defensively, so you can take a lot of pressure off of that young quarterback. Let's try this again. Cindy, let me see. D22. There we go.
Too late. It was already up.
These are some of the additions that they made. Exactly. These are some of the additions that they made on defense. And Dan Quinn, we got to remember, as a head coach, he is a defensive-minded guy. So he understands through and through that you must protect your young quarterback who happens to be a franchise changer by defensively being better on that side of the football.
Yeah, sometimes you get super hot at the right time. You make a deep playoff run, and you maybe an organization convinces itself it's a little closer than it really is. They just got hot at the right time. So maybe the step back last year was a little predictable. The health of Jaden Daniels, obviously, will dictate everything. All right, coming up.